This is the Perlo Podcast. We talk construction, its people, its challenges, its opportunities. We've seen construction costs skyrocket, you might say, in this last year. Is that true across the board for all materials?
Costs in general have gone up over the past year. Not all materials the same. Early in 2021, I was in conversation with a broker, and I said, wow, the costs are really volatile. And he said, well, I think you might be incorrect there, because volatile means they're coming down and up and down and up, but I only see them going up. So I stood corrected and said, yes, they are going up. It's just a matter of how fast they're going up. We've seen items like the components of a roof structure triple in 2021. So triple in cost. If you can imagine the price of a gallon of gas tripling or a gallon of milk tripling, everybody would notice and be up in arms. It has a big impact on the overall construction costs. Whereas things like asphalt paving have stayed generally the same for the last year and a half. So some things are relatively flat, some things have skyrocketed. Overall, the components generally push the prices up, and it's been a significant increase. And at the latter part of 2021, we heard that, we heard a lot of inflationary news, that inflation and wages and costs of everything are going up. That will eventually trickle into the construction industry. So the labor prices have continued to rise. We haven't seen skyrocketing labor costs, but they've gradually crept up, and they've definitely not been flat.
If prices are going up, especially something like on industrial buildings, we're seeing a big demand for industrial buildings, and the roof structure is a pretty big component of that. How are the costs influencing building owners, developers, in terms of which projects they're going to move forward with and which they aren't?
Well, for everyone we send out the door, we're just on pins and needles. Like, we've got to be at the edge. It's got to drive them over the edge, and we haven't gotten there yet. So that the answer is that the rents appear to be keeping up with the costs, which hasn't slowed the market down at all at this point. There will obviously be, at some point in the future, a tipping point where those cross over, but the rents have so far kept up with that, and it doesn't seem to have any impact on it at all. Everybody's says, wow, that's a big change, or wow, that's really expensive, but okay, let's go. So it's been a little stressful, and but things keep moving forward.
Chris, normally under normal circumstances, we're updating our pricing index once a year. How often do you need to update pricing, and how often is it changing?
It's down to the day. I mean, it's literally down to the day. Within the last hour, I pulled up a quote from a subcontractor from 6 days ago, and I called him up and said, "You really can't be telling me it's gone up this much in 6 days." And he said, "Well, because of the products that go into it and the supply and projection into the future, it really has modified that much in 6 days."
Wow.
I do participate in the government's producer price index on a monthly time frame, and they update a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, and they're getting data from a lot of people across the United States. So I see minor upticks in construction costs as they come through in the data that I need to verify or update, but it seems to be just a gradual uptick. Every time we turn around, it's slightly up.
Visit us online at perlo.biz. Subscribe to catch our future episodes, and join us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube to discuss all things construction. And finally, work hard, do what's right, and have fun.